Hi guys, how you doing? So I wanted to come here and make a quick video because I have this question that I feel like have been asked by so many of you, and I didn't want to seem like I was being snobbish about it, so I wanted to just um, make some time and sit down and talk about it. So the question was about doing business in China, or buying and shipping things from China to the country. And um, basically, there's really no um, complication with it, but from my point of view, from my own experience, um, things have changed for sure. Things have changed over the course of the years because I was doing this. The first time I shipped something from China personally was back in 2015. That's the first time I shipped something directly for me. And this was also the first time that I made a visit, or I made a trip personally to China. And before that, I bought things from my friend who was going to China earlier, and before that I was buying things from Italy. You all know the Italy market is a big market. If you know how to pick a few nice things, then it's a good place to go and pick some nice things that really, it all depends with your target customer. But basically, I honestly don't know much about what is happening right now for the people who are traveling to China. I have several visas myself stamped. I have been to China several times before, and for me to get another visa to go, it would not be a problem. However, there are people who have had a problem having a first time visa, and a first time visa is always a problem, depending, like, it's always a problem in most countries that you plan to travel to. So that being said, getting a visa is one of the things that you have to look into if you want to go there personally. The other thing you want to look into is once you get to China, which country, which state, which town, which city, which market are you going to? You just need some of this. If I give you my story, I don't want to make this video so long, so I wanted to just like pick on the basics. Also, I have like a flu coming, so I just didn't want to talk too much, guys. But just to give you a quick of my own first trip, it was a bit crazy because I applied for a visa. I found an agent in the city who was doing the paperwork, and she did the paperwork for me, of course at a fee, and then I submit the paperwork to the embassy myself. You go there, you queue like everybody else, and sometimes you can make an appointment online. If you are not in a rush, you can make an appointment and wait. But if you can go to the embassy and queue and wait, and you get a chance to go in and you do your processing, of course they ask you questions: why you want to go there, what do you plan to do, how many days are you there, what are you buying, this kind of things they want to ask you. The other thing is, once luckily you get the visa, like I did, I got my visa after 3 days. I got the visa, and I bought my ticket, and I knew I was going to Guangzhou, and I honestly didn't know anyone. When going to China, I wasn't planning when to go with anyone. When I was at the embassy, I met a lady. We were in the queue together. We sort of talked a bit, and we became friends. We are no longer friends because she ran away with my money. Not much, but I forgive her. It's been a long time. I don't care. Anyway, we made the trip on the same day, and I was going to shop, of course, and she was going to work there as an English teacher. This is common. These kind of jobs are common in China. People go there to teach them English, and so when we got there, I had my I had a business card that from a hotel that I was going to stay. And when I got there, this friend of mine, she had organized a pickup from some people who were hosting also, and we went to the hotel, of course, and then the following day, I was going to the market, so I woke up as usual, changed my money, and luckily there was one lady. She was like an angel sent to me. She was already living in China, and she's the one who actually showed me most of the marketplaces, and we went around, and that's how I learned. Like, my trip was so blindly planned, but along the way I had so much trust and so much faith in God that everything just worked so good, and it just went so well, and I'm just so grateful that it happened like this. I honestly, I'm glad I did follow my instincts. I made a lot of mistakes growing up. I made a lot of mistakes finding myself, but I am glad of all the things that I did, all the things that I took a step to do, and it happened successfully. It happened the right way, or so to say. So that was my first trip. It was a bit crazy, and I was there for 2 weeks, and I traveled back, and my business continued. And this like I said, was in 2015, around October, September, October, I'm not sure, I think it was October. And so I bought things. Okay, so the basic things, sorry for diverting from the story. The basic thing when you're in China is, once you buy the things, you already have a company, a shipping company, and shipping companies are many in Italy. The Somali companies, there's a lot of these companies in Italy, and of course you get a contact before you go, and you find their location in Guangzhou or in whichever city you're going to. You find their contact, you find their office. And so what you do is, once you buy something, because you don't buy everything in a day, whatever you buy, you put it together in boxes. Whatever you buy, you put it together. And when you see it's bulking up, because sometimes the hotel room, they will not let you keep so many things in the hotel room. So what happens is that you need to make a trip to the warehouse of the shipping company and register your things there. And of course you may tell them that you need to bring more things, or you can tell them to ship out that fast. So as you're still there shopping for things, there's still some small things that are already on the way, because if you plan to ship by sea, it takes about 2 months. Sometimes it can be longer, because you never know about the Mombasa port, how it goes. The easiest way to ship is to ship by air, but by air is also very expensive, because by air is $10 per kilo, and you get your things within 8 days. This is safe, it works. When you want to ship in a quick things, for example, when we have a wedding and you need to supply the customers in a short period, this is always a good way to use to ship your things in. If you're not in a rush, of course you can wait 2 months, which is much cheaper to ship this way, because you get a full box and it's measured with the cubic meters. I think the last time I sent something by sea, they were charging 30,000 Kenyan shilling for cubic meter box. Anyway, those are the basics of when you're in China. The other part of the question was about identifying suppliers. Now, unless you are a big company, unless you have a lot of money to be bringing things container-wise, I don't see you dealing with suppliers, dealing with factories, I mean, or these kind of people. When it comes to China, I want you to get a picture of being in Gikomba market, or being in Kamukunji, or being in any market. And in this market, or even Isili, being in Isili, and in this market there's a lot of sellers selling different things, others selling the same things. Some of these people, they have very small shops. So you need to go, you see what they have is pretty much samples. You identify what you like, you make your order, you make a deposit. Of course, you need to master that location. And then after a few days, they will tell you to go pick up your things. You go pick them up, you go check if they are all how you want them, and then you pay the amount and you go. That's how it works in China. You don't get to go straight to a factory and you buy 10 pairs of shoes or 100 pairs of shoes. No, factories deal with container wise. So as a small hustler, you will go direct to the market and you pick or you select things like you're in a market. The hustle mode of it, my God, I feel like this hair is so big, it's distracting me. Oh yeah, what is the other thing? What was the other thing about going to China? Money, how much you need. Again, this is a factor that I'm not sure because I have actually not been to China in 2 years. Yes, I've not been to China in 2 years. Luckily, I also found a supplier who is able to find me what I want, and we have a good relationship. We have a good contract to protect each other, and she sends me good things, and I'm able to sell and continue with my business. However, this is something that you can do once you make your first visit there. Of course, if you're a social, if you're a real hustler, you will be able to find a few people who you can work with. That's really how it works. So money-wise, I would say you need a ticket, and a ticket it depends with the time that you're visiting China, but a ticket would go all the way up to 100,000. At least that's the maximum I have paid, 100,000 for the two-way. You need hotel fee, and this depends with how long you plan to stay, but I think you should plan from a lowest of 2,000 per night to 5,000 per night. Again, it depends with the luxury you want, but the cheapest you find could be 2,000. But also it depends if you're going with someone, you can co-share or not. The other thing is bring all your money with you. You can change your money in dollars and you take it with you if it's not too much, of course. Or you can leave someone like these shipping companies in Italy. You can send your money through them, and of course you need to identify a relationship, of course, for them to accept your money also, because again in China, Western Union and MoneyGram is very complicated right now, especially some of the people there, or even you if you travel there and somebody from Kenya sends you money, they may not allow you to get that money when you're there. These are new rules that are like, there's a lot of new rules in China that are not very nice, especially for the people living there. They're having a very difficult time. So you may want to plan ahead on how you bring your money along. I mean, of course you don't bring millions with you in a flight, but I believe there is a maximum. Of course, you can check how much you can bring with you in a flight, and you can take all your money with you. It's best to bring it in US dollars, and then once you get there, you can change it into the Chinese money. Of course, be very careful when you're changing the money in China, because of course, funny business, funny behaviors is everywhere. In China, they have very small kiosks that you go and change your money. Sometimes you get the real money, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get in a taxi, you give him a real money, he gives you fake change. So it's really about really being awake when you're doing your job there. What else did I leave out? When it comes to how much you need to start a business, I personally started my business with 25,000 Kenyan shilling back in 2015, and this is when I started by buying from Italy, and then I bought from a friend, and then when I was going to China, I actually went to China with only 250,000. That's $250,000. That's the amount I had with me when I was going to China. And it was enough for me to give me a foundation. And like I said, business has changed a lot. Things have changed a lot. So you may really want to look deeper into the kind of business you want to start in connection with China. There's a lot of Chinese people in Kenya, which means they are bringing a lot of these things themselves. They are bringing in bulk, and sometimes you think you have something nice and unique and you bring it, and they have already brought something that is cheaper. Of course, cheaper quality, cheaper price, but they have already brought it in the country. And when you live in a country, in a third world country, it's our home, yes, but people like cheap things. There's always a good number of people who like something quality, a good quality, and that's when it comes to keeping your customers. And sometimes when you identify a good list of your customers who always return to you, then you have a business running. But when you really target just anyone, then the factor of price comes in, and a lot of people want to buy something that is cheaper. You can't blame anyone for that. So that's really it. I don't know if there's anything I've left out. I didn't even know how to start this subject. I don't want to mislead anyone, because for me, I really commit my own mistakes and I follow my mistakes, and I always fix my own mistakes my own way. I'm a risk taker, big time risk taker. I don't want somebody to do something from my advice and then feel like I cheated them. This is my experience. This is my advice from what I have experienced personally. So this has been it. This is my 4 years of experience buying things from China. It's very difficult right now. We have considered closing down, but we'll see how it goes. But I can assure you, if you have a good plan and if you trust your faith in God, everything that you do, you give it to God, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. I think you will find yourself and whatever you want to do. So again, thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have any other question regarding this topic, or you feel like there's anything that I left out, I didn't give out, please let me know in the comment. Of course, I will respond to you guys, and I will see you next time. As always, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and thank you to our new subscribers. We love you guys, and I will see you next time.